and they're drummed up in the realm of your mind. See, spiritual warfare is won or lost in the threshold of your mind. And they know this, and they know that even, your so-called religious Christians, Almighty, they couldn't do that to me, and I've had people say, well, there's no way that the government could touch me and my child. I hate to inform you and break your bubble, but I'm telling you, they can do whatever they want, when they want, and they can get you if you're not solid on the rock of Christ. And that is an absolute fact.
We have this question in from the live chat. It moved, so I was reading it, and now it moved. Hang on, let me see if I can get this up for you. All right. Do you think that we are close to any sort of mandatory chipping?
Yes. If not this year, next year.
Really?
There's going to be such a big change this year that in the Bible, I personally don't believe, and I have never been shown otherwise. And I want people to know this, that I didn't get my knowledge in church. I got my knowledge from reading the Word of God and listening to true prophets, by testing them. Every word they say, I don't believe nobody. If it doesn't line up with the Bible, and I know you had a problem with a guest one time over a drug use that they had, and you even asked them, doesn't that kind of contrary with the Word of God? And so I know where you stand, and you're going to be all right. But I can tell you right now that if you're not grounded, I just don't know how to explain it, man, other than just to tell you that Christ is the only answer. And I hate to keep bringing that up to some of your folks might not believe or whatever, but you will pretty soon. But what I was going to say is the event is going to be so traumatic that you're going to know the rapture ain't coming, and what are you going to do? You're not even prepared for it because you've believed all this rapture theory, rapture. Well, God didn't rapture Noah. He didn't rapture Lot. He didn't even rapture Jesus.
And he didn't rapture anybody when Katrina hit either.
No, sir. So what makes you so much better, or me, or any of the audience, that we're so special that we need to be raptured? And if God is God, why does he need to come up with some kind of Dunkirk evacuation for us? Can he not protect us against his own enemy? It says in the Bible, the righteous always remain, and there's several places there it says he'll uproot the wicked before our eyes so that we may see it.
The last time we had you on, I think one of the places we were ending with, you were talking about your tour down in South America. I think you said you killed 100 or so
117
drug lords or
drug cartel leaders.
And so
and everybody can say that's not possible because Hitchcock holds the record. No, those guys have busted even more than 117. I know of one person, and I will not mention names for no amount of money unless I know that it doesn't matter or they've given me permission, because some of these guys are, some of them are just plain paranoid, and some of them really are in a position where they get killed if their names were mentioned. But I know a guy in there who hit over 330 at the time. And Hitchcock is an icon in the Marines, and he will stay that way no matter who breaks the record. And he was a great man. He went in a mission and even signed his own death warrant. In other words, he signed a piece of paper with, I guess, from what I can understand, the things that he wanted done with his home, his will, because it was impossible to go into that mission and come out alive. But not only did he come out alive, he did more than his job. He took out several more targets on his way in and out. So all 117 of my kills don't account for the bravery of that man. And that man there had a rifle that wasn't even near capable what the rifle I had was.
So now correct me if I'm wrong, but then I think you were suggesting then that after that you went to Area S4?
Yeah, most of the time. Now, I don't know what they do, but I know I was told this, and I have no reason to doubt it, that most snipers that have seen a lot of things or been in heavy combat, before they let you go, they'll send you to areas as a guard or paper pusher to monitor you to see if you're a Section 8. Now, that doesn't mean everybody that's seen combat does, But there's a lot of people that go in and they do that because they want to see if you're Section 8. And Section 8 is like that, you know, you're freaky, you're psycho, and you're, you know, to see if you have any of the precursors of maybe killing somebody in the public or whatever. And in my case, and in a lot of people's cases that I know, they got sent to Area S4, or Area 51, y'all call it Area 51, as their final place, you know. And it was easy to monitor you there because I don't know if, you know what, I thought about it since last show, and I believe we were monitored by the reptilians because they just knew everything and every thought. Remember I told you I painted rocks and would talk to them because I get so lonely?
Yeah.
Well, after the show, I pondered on that a little bit, and I remember, I was thinking, how did they know exactly what I was saying to those rocks? I mean, I know they can't have a microphone every 10 feet over the whole complex, for crying out loud. That place is, huge. And they can't watch me, and I would even murmur, and they would know some things. See, I'm getting ringing in my ears real bad right now. For I never had such ringing in my life. Now, I don't know where that's
some sort of weapon to keep you from talking.
I don't know, but it's ringing loud.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we just?
Now it's going away. Away.
Hey, all right.
It's ringing real loud.
Let me ask you something. I know one of the things we were going to bring up in this interview was the questioning was, did you ever work with military clones of some sort?
No, but I seen a lot of them, and I got some good information for you on them from some agents. And like I say, I'm not going to mention their names. And they say the names were changed to protect the innocent. The old what was it? What's the name of that show with them two cops? Dragnet.
I heard that.
Changed to protect the innocent.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the place was changed to protect the innocent.
Mm-hmm.
But on private occasions in my email, which is capital L, all capitalized, LTCOLSC3 @gmail.com, if somebody has a question for me. Mm-hmm. And I'll answer it through that. And but anyway, some of the places I might answer, I use discernment, and God's given me discernment on, when somebody, I've had a couple of agents try to tap me into, and I knew by their questioning, I mean, they're a different breed of people, similar to a homosexual has a personality about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these people that go into black ops and to CIA and stuff, they have a personality about them. They're robotic, and like that time you got a little bit of a laugh out of me. Well, it made me, you made me conscious of that, and I've been trying to think of things to laugh about a little bit because I don't laugh enough, I guess. But so they were trying to get information out of me, and I knew it, so I sent them I'd send them back a real funny, jokey answer, and knowing, and then they would quit sending, and if they quit sending, I know that they caught on, that I knew that they were. But I got a lot of good information about not only what I knew and seen, but even deeper about the underground bases and the cloning operation going on down there and how they do it exactly. And I'm going to share it with you tonight.
All right. And last week, you mentioned, I asked you what was one of the most bizarre things you ever saw, and you said that you saw 10 by 10 crates full of body parts and blood left over from the feeding frenzy of reptilians?
Yeah, I seen the crate, but I didn't see what was in it. But the guy that was there seen what was in it, and he told me about it. And it had a sign on it. And the reason it really caught my eye mainly was because it was made out of, looked like stainless steel, but whatever it was made of, I promise you couldn't be penetrated.
Well, our first hour guest...
It was sealed with big giant bolts, and then after the bolts were torqued down, they were also welded on both sides. And it said deadly force necessary. I never seen that before. And I said, what is that? And he said, that means that if anybody tampers with that, they're not authorized, that you've got it. In other words, if you're a guard and you have a gun and you don't shoot, you'll probably be shot.